Right now in CBS News Bay Area, jaw-dropping rents where you may not expect them.
It was almost $5,000 for a two-bedroom.
We're talking about the coastside community where the cost of living is now higher than San Francisco. And we've seen it over and over again. Driverless cars ending up where they shouldn't be, sometimes in the way of first responders.
We don't feel like they're quite ready to expand to the level they want to expand to.
And state regulators may be ready to apply the brakes. And here's one way to earn a leadership badge: why the Girl Scouts are going up against a peninsula community over access to their summer camp.
Is taking away from underprivileged groups who can't get here by themselves.
This is CBS News Bay Area with Juliette Goodrich.
Hello. San Francisco has a reputation for being one of the most expensive places in the country to live, but it turns out not as expensive as Santa Cruz County. It just landed at #1 on the Out of Reach report. Now, it looked at the gap between wages and rent costs and found a person working a full-time job would need to make $63.33 an hour to afford a two-bedroom apartment in Santa Cruz County. Okay, so just for reference, California's minimum wage is $15.50 an hour. So our Devin Feely has more on the trickle-down effect of the struggle to stay afloat.
At first blush, you say there's no way that Santa Cruz can be as expensive as San Francisco or Silicon Valley to live. But according to this new study, when you really look at what people earn versus what they're expected to pay in rent, Santa Cruz begins to stack up as one of the most expensive places in the Bay Area to live.
It's clear why people come to Santa Cruz to live, but a new study by the National Low Income Housing Coalition makes plain why many struggle to stay.
Recently, I've noticed the prices have just gone way up.
Brianna Heredia is a recent Cal grad and an avid surfer. She loves Santa Cruz and spends as much time as she can in the surf. But back on dry land, she says she and her boyfriend struggle financially to keep their heads above water.
It was almost $5,000 for a two-bedroom, which is just crazy, especially for people our age to try and even imagine affording something like that.
The coalition study found that Santa Cruz County narrowly edged out San Francisco as one of the most expensive and least affordable places to live in the state and country. In California statewide, the study found that renters would have to work almost 3 full-time minimum wage jobs to make rent for a two-bedroom apartment. And that number was more than 4 minimum wage jobs for a single apartment in Santa Cruz.
But there's a lot of low-wage workers that don't earn enough to afford a two-bedroom apartment. They don't afford enough even to afford a one-bedroom or a studio apartment.
Andrew Oren is the coalition's research director. He says the study is in many ways a pain index and that more money spent on rent means less for everything else.
Low-income families that spend more than half of their income on rent, they spend less on food. They pay less, or they spend less on educational activities for their children. They just spend less money on other necessities just to be able to afford the roof over their heads.
Brianna says she's going to stick it out for as long as she can. Making the rent is tough, and the dream of home ownership, she says, is a distant ship on the horizon, ever receding with the tide.
I would love to live here. I would love to be able to buy a home here because I love it here and I want to surf every day. And to have a home here is like a dream of mine, but I don't know how I could make that happen.
According to the authors of this study, when it comes to people at the bottom rungs of the economic ladder, they say the math just doesn't pencil out for developers and property owners, and they say there's going to have to be some kind of meaningful intervention from the feds, the state, cities, or counties if you truly want to increase the supply of affordable housing.
So we looked into it. Agricultural workers moving to urban areas, a growing student population at UC Santa Cruz, the tech boom, and more short-term rentals may have all played a role in driving up prices. And here is a look at some other Bay Area cities the survey compared to Santa Cruz. Renters in San Francisco need to make $61.31 an hour. It'll take $56.56 to make rent in and around San Jose, $46.25 in the Oakland area, and $45.92 per hour in Napa. Now to a neighborhood in San Francisco infamous for homelessness and rampant drug use. But neighbors who live there often feel they're ignored in those headlines. Our Betty Yu introduces us to one woman in the Tenderloin who nearly lost everything due to an encampment fire right outside her window.
The first thing I saw or heard was like a large explosion, and I saw the flames hit my window.
Ashanti was among dozens of residents who evacuated their O'Farrell Street building in the Tenderloin at 3 a.m. on Friday.
It's been really hard. It's been difficult. Like I said, I probably get on average like 6 to 5 hours of sleep just because I'm constantly hearing the noise even if I close my window. It's nonstop. It's like the screaming, the yelling, the fighting.
Or worse, she said she often witnesses illegal activity at the encampments that can take over the entire block of Leavenworth. In the last year, the 24-year-old said countless fires have come dangerously close to her building.
These poor people got to clean up this because of them. We are really scared. I mean, like, I'm serious. I've never had to do this before. I pack an emergency bag.
This is Ashanti's first apartment since she herself was homeless. When she was 21, she fled an abusive relationship and lived in a tent in the Mission. She struggled with housing instability her whole life.
I know what it's like to deal with the street life every single day. And so, like, I understand where they're coming from, but then also there's so many resources out here as well.
With the help of Larkin Street Youth Services, she turned her life around and now works full time. Like many of her longtime neighbors, they feel that their calls for help to the mayor, Supervisor Dean Preston, and emergency services have largely been ignored.
In the last year, last 6 months, it seems like our building in particular, has been under attack.
A couple times I had homeless people lunge at me.
In December, a federal judge issued a preliminary injunction that temporarily prevents the city from clearing encampments if there aren't immediate shelter beds available. The city is appealing, but it can still enforce ordinances regarding threats to public health and safety.
I used to think that I could handle living on the border of the Tenderloin and walking through the Tenderloin. No longer. I'm really afraid.
The fire burned a recently vacated dry cleaning shop after neighbors said the owner could no longer deal with the problematic encampments.
Tenderloin is not just residents who are all drug dealers and stuff like that. We have normal lives, and it's being affected. This wouldn't happen in any other district. I just feel like us in the Tenderloin, we're kind of left out.
Now, there has been increased law enforcement in the Tenderloin. Just last month, the CHP was brought in to help patrol the area. Oakland police, they want to talk with this man and woman in connection with the fatal shooting of a flower delivery man. They say the two were seen walking along 26th Street not long before 27-year-old Matthias Guidos was killed last Wednesday. Police want to know what they know about it. They're offering a $10,000 reward for information. Tonight, Alameda County has approved a proposal to make it illegal to even watch a sideshow. Anyone within 200 feet of one could face a $1,000 fine or 3 months in jail. The ordinance is up for a second reading on July 11th. State regulators have pushed back a vote on allowing robo-taxi companies, Cruise and Waymo, unlimited expansion on city streets. It's now set for July 13th instead of this Thursday. Incidents like this one involving a self-driving car stuck in the middle of an emergency are becoming a headache for first responders. San Francisco Fire and some vehicle safety experts want to see more requirements put in place before the expansion is allowed.
These cars are in the street learning. It's like these cars are at school right now, and we don't feel like they're quite ready to expand to the level they want to expand to. We've asked to kind of get more insight into the process of developing their modes of operation.
According to SFMTA, the number of reported incidents involving Cruise and Waymo in March and April was almost triple what it was in the prior 2 months. We reached out to Cruise and Waymo for comment. Waymo responded saying, quote, "We navigate and interact with active emergency vehicles day and night smoothly. The vast majority of these often challenging and complex encounters have been without issue." Well, parents have some new tools now to help monitor their kids' social media use. Meta is now adding some new features on Messenger and Instagram where parents can monitor how much time their kids spend on the app, along with access to their contact lists.
You won't be able to see the messages themselves that they send between people, but essentially you'll be able to kind of offer a little bit of oversight on the way that they're using social media.
This comes after social media companies face increasing pressure from lawmakers who are concerned about the impact the apps may have on teens. And just this month, the nation's top doctor testified on Capitol Hill shortly after issuing a first-ever public health advisory on the negative effects of social media.
Too often kids on social media are exposed to extreme, inappropriate, and harmful content. Indeed, nearly half of adolescents are saying that social media now makes them feel worse about their bodies.
Dr. Murphy wants Congress to establish new standards for social media platforms. And here in California, lawmakers are considering their own regulations, including a bill that could fine social media companies up to $250,000 if they knowingly cause children to harm themselves, buy drugs or guns, or develop eating disorders. According to a new study by security.org, 98% of parents believe social media platforms are dangerous for teens and kids, and 89% would support requiring children under 18 to obtain parental permission to create a social media account. Girl Scouts access cut off, the big battle over restrictions on a windy road on the peninsula. And a bridge toll increase is going into effect in just a few days. How much more it's going to cost to cross the Golden Gate?
You'd be crossing through some fog this evening. It's swallowing up downtown San Francisco. It was another day of cooler than average temperatures, but it did make it to above 80 degrees in Santa Rosa. A few more 80s on the map tomorrow, but the real heat kicks in Thursday and Friday. Details coming up in the First Alert forecast.